Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here. I love the completely just non-transition. It's just boom, here I am. Welcome. So, hey guys, thanks for joining me on the Monday live stream. We need to come up with like a name for this. If you have an idea for a good name for this, come up with it. So, but hey, everybody, welcome. We have got a great show today. I am going to bring in my guest here in a moment. If you are just joining us, which you are because I'm just joining you, go ahead and smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Helps things go. But my guest today, we'll pop right into this because there is, in case you guys had not heard, there was a trailer that came out like 2 weeks ago, like a week and a half ago, and it's been pretty big deal. So I have not found that I have been able to talk about it enough. And so I want to go ahead and bring on a guest. This is a guest that I got to meet in person at JordanCon, which was amazing. Somebody I respect a lot. And this is a group of people, WattSeries.com, that I get a lot of news and report to you all. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring on Sarah, who you may also know as Celtic or Celtic. Welcome, Sarah.
Hello.
Howdy. So it's awesome. This is the first time you've been on the show, I guess, if you will.
It is. I feel so special.
It is. Trust me,
it's a really exclusive experience. So
it'll be a moment. You'll forget it here very soon. It'll be a moment that you will forget immediately. So, but yeah, it is. It's really cool to have you on. We got to meet at JordanCon, although we had been interacting for a while. So, hey, Discord's fun for that. But no, you work with WattSeries.com. Why don't you tell all these fine people a little bit about what WattSeries is, what you guys do, for the few people that may not know about you?
We are a group of people that have way too much time on our hands and like to spend that time sleuthing and trying to dig up news tidbits about the upcoming show. So I should change that. I do not have too much time on my hands, but I use what little free time I do have to spend on this show. So
I feel that. I feel that. I see Geeky Eerie in the chat, and what I always love, my ongoing joke, and I really don't think this is a joke, is that Eerie has like tracking beacons on all of the cast members because she seems to know where they're all at all times.
I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You know, it's the whole COVID thing was just a plot from Geeky Eerie to microchip everyone with the vaccines. So
totally true. Yep. Hey, thank you for the super sticker, LGD. Appreciate you. Thanks for the support. Is that like a call me by your name ref? I can't really tell what that picture is, but okay. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. So what we have a super tight agenda tonight. What we're going to do is talk about the Wheel of Time and the trailer. Do you think you can manage it?
I don't know. That's going to be hard, but I'll do it for you.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. So I guess let's just go ahead and kick it off with like the main news. Some stuff dropped today. So in case you guys are not aware, the Wheel of Time account tweeted out on a Monday, like what the hell? They've never done anything on a Monday, and here we go. But they tweeted out that they are going to be at the New York Comic Con. So they were at the San Diego Comic Con. Now they're going to be at the New York Comic Con. And then our friends at WattSeries got a scoop, which they tweeted out, but I'll let Sarah. Sarah, what happened? Like, what did you guys find out from Amazon?
Oh, we were just able to confirm that the panel will be virtual. So unfortunately, Rafe and other cast and crew will not be appearing in person, but that's probably good because we don't want another COVID shutdown on this poor show.
That's fairly true. And I guess that makes sense. I was thinking they might just not have time because they're in the middle of filming.
That's also entirely possible because they're, smack in the middle of shooting season 2 right now. So
now I see Dana saying this because guys, I have not seen as much of the news as probably you all have because I literally just got home before I hopped on here. But Dana pointed out, are they on the main stage? Like, this is not a side panel. This is a main stage panel.
That's what it said on the tweet. There was a series of tweets about Amazon's panels, and the rest of the Amazon panels that I saw were in rooms, but Wheel of Time had the main stage. So that's pretty cool.
So that's a really big deal.
I mean, I don't know enough about Comic-Con, but I'm assuming that's a big deal. It sounds like a big deal.
I would think it is. There's a piece of me. So what I kind of like is that you can get a virtual ticket to this, right? Okay.
Yes.
That's good, because I was thinking in my head, do I need to buy a ticket to New York and go to the Comic-Con?
Yeah, I was looking at that when I thought, oh, maybe they'll be there in person, but no, I think I'll do the virtual ticket. It's $20, by the way.
For the virtual ticket?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no brainer. Yeah. That's worth it. So here's the real speculation. What do you think is going to, do you think they're going to release the second trailer there? Because we know there's another one coming. It falls in the timing of where, like, they usually release them on Thursdays or Fridays, and it's in October, which is like a month before. So what do you think?
I'm really torn. Ari has done some analysis on, how long between the second trailer and the release of the show for other Amazon shows, and it's all over the place. There's basically, the trend is there is no trend. So I honestly don't know. I think we could see a second trailer. I also think it's very likely that we might see some kind of featurette, like Welcome to the World of the Wheel of Time. Maybe even a couple of scenes from the show. The Witcher first season did that at Comic-Con 2 years ago. They actually had, I think it was 3 different scenes from the first few episodes that they played for the panel there, with the real score and all that. So I was like, that would be really cool if we could see that for Wheel of Time. I'd take that over a trailer, honestly.
So who just got like chills thinking that we get to watch 5 minutes of the show? Like, shit.
I mean, that would be awesome. I would, like I said, I would almost prefer that option, but
I would totally, I would prefer that over a trailer too, because then you get to see, I think the trailer, they kind of control the narrative a little bit with the trailer, right? But where with the actual show, like you can get a feel for like the vibe of the show, like how they're kind of gelling the actors, how it's filmed.
Right.
I would much rather see that.
Yeah, because you get to see them interacting in the context of the entire scene as opposed to the half a second
Jason
blurb, so
well, I guess I have my virtual ticket covered now. Thank you. Jason's been a longtime supporter of the channel. He's one of my top tier patrons, as is Sarah, actually. But you guys are awesome. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. Definitely have to. I guess I wasn't going to cover it when they did that, but now I guess I'll cover the Comic-Con panel. I suppose. I suppose. Well, okay. So what do you guys think? Like, would you rather chat? Let's throw this out there. Informal poll. Would you prefer to see another trailer, or would you prefer to see like a 5-minute featurette of the first episode? Which would you prefer? And we'll let you guys talk about that while we move on and talk a little bit. So I guess let me get this, because I kind of know this from your write-ups and things like that, but like, what were your impressions of the trailer? Like, what were your immediate thoughts? Like, if you did a reaction video, what would you be saying?
Well, fun story. I did actually record myself reacting to the trailer. It will never see the light of day because it is purely me crying and occasionally being like, "It's so pretty." So yeah,
so you hated it, huh? You hated it.
I hated it. It was terrible. Shannara, woke, awful. Yeah. Anyway, no, it was.
That's the script, right?
Right. Honestly, like my first actual reaction was, I was just shocked that we got so much. Yeah. I was not expecting. I thought maybe a minute and a half at most. I did not think we were going to see nearly as many just variety of scenes as we did.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really, really cool.
I totally agree. That was my first reaction. Was I was thinking we were going to get a 30 to 45 second trailer. Like I was trying not to get my hopes up. And then I was like, 2 minutes. Oh my God. And then we got to see all the different things. Like that blew me away. I think there was I had an initial reaction and then I had my like analysis reaction. My initial reaction was like, oh shit, I can't believe the Wheel of Time is actually going to be a show. Like, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
feel like that happens to me. Like every once in a while, I'll just be like, "Oh my god, this is so surreal! Like this is happening. This is crazy."
like I remember reading A Memory of Light and thinking they'll never be able to make this into a show. Like they'll never be able to do this, and now we're getting it, and I'm just excited about it. So let's hit chat real quick, and we'll come back to this. I asked earlier what you guys would you rather have like a 5-minute scene, like a featurette, or would you rather have a trailer? It looks like from eyeballing this, it looks fairly down the middle. I'm actually surprised. Excuse me. I'm surprised there are more trailer people than featurette because I'm fully in the featurette camp. Trailer wise, it's cool. I think it tells us a little bit more, but like if we got to watch 5 minutes of the show, I have a feeling I'll have a better idea of whether or not I'm going to like it or not. What are your thoughts? Well, I know what you already said. You said featurette, so
Yeah, I think the main thing I'm interested in about second trailer is to see what direction they go with it. Because the teaser trailer, as expected, did not really get into any kind of plot hook or anything. It was just kind of a overall, hey, look at this cool thing. Aren't you interested? So I'm hoping that we get a little bit more of a plot introduction in the second trailer without spoiling anything, but I'm thinking we'll get some Dragon Reborn stuff and no clear indication of who that might be.
So you think that we'll get more plot, basically? So
like Moraine, like I'm trying to find this person, and then probably a lot of stuff with Logain because I feel like that's half the reason they've expanded his storyline anyway, is to provide more, I don't know, visualization of that.
Yeah. I would agree with you. I think that this trailer was designed, like I think its purpose was to get people that are not Wheel of Time fans to go, ooh, that looks pretty. Pretty much. Like
that's pretty much what I saw. I mean, there were some people that were just kind of like, oh, it looks generic and whatever. But honestly, I'll take, oh, it looks generic over it looks terrible. So.
Well, and frankly, like I was more interested, believe it or not, I was far more interested in non-fan reactions to it than I was fans. Because I knew most of us, like we know what we're looking at.
Right.
So we're mostly going to think the same things for the most part. But I was very interested to what non-fans did. And so informally with like people around me, family, friends, that kind of thing, I was really curious to get their responses. And then I scoured YouTube looking for like
same.
Like
that's basically all I did the next 3 days was just reaction video.
And it was entertaining, right?
It was very.
What shocked me is I don't want to say I was surprised because I wasn't, but like they for the most part were, I think they were pretty positive. I mean, am I wrong on that? Like,
like
no, I thought they were overwhelmingly positive, actually.
I thought they were overwhelmingly positive. Again, I saw a few that were kind of just like, it looks kind of generic, but I'll probably still check it out, which I'll take that. I mean, there was a couple that were negative, and based on the other content of their channels, I'm not surprised.
Sure.
But just for
wait,
my own,
let me guess. Was the content on their channel woke and?
Well, yes, yeah.
That
lots
term
of complaining about the women's
in the
trailer, and so
So they don't want to take down the patriarchy, is what you're trying to say? Those channels?
I'm guessing no.
Okay.
I don't. I wasn't quite clear on that, but just a guess.
We're both smartasses. So my favorite. It's like you get on Facebook because like Facebook is a total cesspool of negativity. Like usually with everything, but like specifically with Wheel of Time, there are some safe spaces on Facebook, but for the most part, it's the same like canned. Like I don't even like. There's no creativity to it. It's literally like I can take woke, I can take
You can
Shannara
make like a
Chronicles.
bot to generate
Yes,
negative comments on
yes,
this
yes, yes.
show. Honestly, someone do that, please.
Yes, one of you programmers out there, make a bot that literally just says stuff woke. It intersperses woke, looks like the Shannara Chronicles. Oh, what was the other one? Go woke, go broke. Is that one?
That's a big one. Yeah. Actually, my husband has done a lot of stuff with the predictive text type programming, so he
Uh-huh.
might actually do that for me if I ask. So I'm going to do that.
That would be pretty funny because it's so true. It's like every damn comment that's negative about it says the same shit for the most part. Now, there are some that like I wasn't. How do I put this? Like after my fangasm settled down a little bit and I got to like analyze it a little bit. I mean, there are some things that I'm not, how do I put it, thrilled with. We recorded our episode of Tarvalin After Dark yesterday. It'll come out tomorrow, where I talk a little bit about this. Like I'm not like hating on it, but I'm not overwhelmingly positive on the way channeling was portrayed. Um,
I'm
just simply
solidly
because,
on the fence on that one.
yeah, like I feel like I need to see more. Um,
Yeah.
Primarily, I think like I feel like the 5 powers being a part of the 1 power adds a lot of depth, and it's one of the things that I think makes the magic system different. So just to have it be like generic, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I saw a lot of people compare it to Avatar Last Airbender.
yeah, I
So
mean,
I can see that.
they look like they're airbending.
Yeah.
Um, which I suppose isn't awful. I'm hoping that maybe like there's a couple theories that I've heard that maybe as they go over time and they learn more about it, you'll start seeing the different flows. I don't know. It may be less of a big deal once we get going on it, but like that was one thing I was not blown away by.
Yeah.
I am not a. Here's the other thing, and I said this. This is not something that I am actually upset about. It's something that I have a small concern about, but it doesn't mean that I think they're going to get it wrong. It just means that I didn't see that they were going to get it right yet. So here's the big one for me. I personally will not care about plot changes for the most part. Like plot changes to me don't matter because I think at the end of the day, they'll get the major plot points right. To me, what matters is that we get the characters right. Like that we get
Right.
so the one character that is my favorite, if you've watched my channel at all, you know Nynaeve is my favorite character. And I actually think Zoe Robbins is going to do an amazing job. Here's my concern with Nynaeve, and it's not that I have evidence that they're not doing this. It's that I just don't have evidence that they are doing what I'm hoping they do. So to me, Nynaeve's character is really the core of who she is her insecurity. Like the fact that she acts out because she's insecure, and that is kind of the motivator for her entire arc, which I think is an amazing arc. That's why she's obnoxious sometimes. That's why she's mean. That's why, like, I actually find it funny and I love it because I think that's what makes her so real. She's too young to be doing it, and people give her shit about it, and she has to deal with that, and that's how she reacts. So I thought Nynaeve looked like a total badass in the trailer. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, they showed her being very much in control and very much like she whips the knife out, she's going to fight. She
Right.
looked very secure with herself when Egwene walks in the inn. And it's not that I think that they have not shown Nynaeve. I'm just hoping that we see Nynaeve's insecurities.
Yeah. Like I want to see, Maureen calling her child or,
Yes.
I don't know, Senbui being a cantankerous old jerk and calling her too young to be a wisdom or something. Stuff like that that really shows
Yep.
kind of the struggle that she's going through.
And then she needs to overreact to it. Like,
Right.
because that's her insecurity coming through, right? Like I don't want her to come across like this motherly, all-knowing, basically Moraine clone, right? Like I want her to. Does that make sense? Like, anyways,
Yeah,
it's
no, for
not
sure.
that I just thought she looked too cool, and I actually like the fact that she looked cool. I'm just hoping that we don't see only that. That's what I
Yeah.
guess I'm trying to say. I don't know if that makes sense to everybody in the chat, but that was one of my things that I'm hoping we get this right, because to me, plot changes can happen, but I want the characters to stay who they are, because at the end of the day, I really think that's why people love this series, is the characters.
Right. Yeah. They are the heart and spine, as Rafe would say. So,
Well, Marissa Swank said this, and I think she's right. I think Nynaeve's insecurities appear much more in The Dragon Reborn with the conflict with Egwene, and I 100% agree with that. They totally do. They come up when Egwene starts to basically pass her, but at the same token, you do see it early on. Like, it's her being called too young to do it. Like, the beginnings of those insecurities are there from the beginning of the story. So I just hope we don't lose them. That's all. And I don't mean to just focus on Nynaeve. I'm hoping we get that from some of the other characters too. I guess that's my concern with them aging the characters up a little bit. It's not really a concern. I'm in favor of them aging the characters up, to be clear. But in the process of doing that, I'm hoping they don't make Nynaeve more mature.
right. Yeah, I think that it's important just in general, but especially for the core five, to not kind of try to make them too cool too quickly. Especially some characters like Matt that people really don't like early on. Not that I want him necessarily to be as kind of a whiny brat as he was in the first books, but he can't be like full Matt yet. None of them can be their full cool self yet. And so I really hope they don't, they don't hesitate to show their flaws and their issues and their immaturities and so forth.
Totally agree. So let's shift off of that, because that's one of my concerns. But outside of that, like, here's the other thing: there are definitely changes, and that was very clear. Like, actually, that was the thing that I know they did it deliberately, but like, they very much made it clear with the trailer that there were changes. Like, they were not hiding the fact that this is going to be different than the books.
Yep.
And so because of that, like, I'm happy they're doing that, because it's the right expectations. Now, what I'm hoping is, and I'm going to hold Rafe to this in my head. I know I get accused of being an Amazon shill all the time, and while they do send me millions of dollars to make positive videos on my channel with
how's that yacht, by the way?
Well, which yacht? Which one? Amazon bought me 4 of them this past week.
The third one specifically.
Yeah. People are going to think we're some people always think I'm serious when I'm being smart.
There's going to be that one person.
But I am actually, like, I'm going to hold Rafe to this, because he said when we make a change, we want to know why we made it. Right? And so I'm looking forward to seeing, like, yes, there are changes. Like, they've changed the map too. Like, obviously, if it's Emmons Field, that is, or if it's just going to be called Two Rivers, I don't know yet. But it's very close to the Mountains of Mist.
Right?
According to the trailer. In the books, it's a whole day's ride away. Like, I know that's not a small change, but does that mean they're changing the map? Right? I don't know.
It sounded like, from what Sarah said at JordanCon, that they're not making huge changes to the map. Like, they're not going to move Camelin to Tyr or something. But I do think that we will see some moving around of the smaller towns to make it more convenient for their filming.
I'm beginning to think, and I know that people have been speculating this for a while, but I'm actually thinking that they're going to take some of I think the entire Min plot line is probably going to happen in Faldara, which I think is at this point. But I'm thinking that they're going to take the Camelin plot line outside of the Royals, and I think they're going to stick that in some of the smaller towns. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Basil Gill is the innkeeper at the inn that Tom and Dana are in.
Right.
That wouldn't shock me. And they have a lot of that stuff play out separately. I think that was one of the big pieces. Real quick here, we'll hit Jay Diggity. Thank you for the $5, man. I appreciate you. Nynaeve has a reason to dislike Moiraine. She shows up and does her job for her, makes her feel insignificant. I love that. And that is part of it. It's feeding into that insecurity that Nynaeve has as a character. And Moiraine is a secure woman who has power
And
the
everyone
male.
takes her seriously. She's
Yep.
like everything that Nynaeve wants to be.
And that's so well. It's the big one. So, but yeah, I there were definitely lots of small changes. Obviously, going to Tarvalin is a big deal. Maybe Basil Gill will be in Tarvalin. Maybe Loyal. Like, I'm curious where you think we're going to run into Loyal.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see most of the Camelin stuff, besides the falling into the palace bit, move to Tarvalin, because I think it works, honestly, pretty well, assuming that they
Mhm.
can figure out the logistics of how is Moraine gonna explain, showing up with these really powerful channelers and then just piecing out in the middle of the night with them. I mean, I don't know that I'm sure there'll be some.
Don't mind me.
It's very stylish.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, I could see them having Basil Gill's now an innkeeper in Tarvalin. I don't know. I think they'll probably. I don't see why they wouldn't meet Loyal in a similar way as in the books, just somewhere else, because we know that they do meet up with him at the Waygate in episode 6, and the wording wasn't super clear, but to me it didn't sound like that was the first time they met him. It
Yeah. I
just
don't
sounded like they were meeting up there, like they had agreed to rendezvous there for some
Which
reason.
is interesting because like some of the characters are already waiting there in that visual, and some of them are coming, and it's an odd group of who's coming and
Right,
who's
it
already.
was like, wasn't it Perrin and Egwene that seemed to be up there with Moraine and Loyal?
Yeah.
Well, who
Right.
may be Loyal, probably is Loyal. Um, but then maybe Perrin and Egwene don't actually make it to Tarvalin. Maybe they somehow, I don't know, they're probably going to be with the Tinkers, and I don't know. The fact that it's Perrin and Egwene is interesting to me because we know that they're going to be split off together, and so that feels like it should be significant somehow.
Okay, I need to address this because I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I've seen this comment. Sorry, Noman Garden, I'm picking on you a little bit because I've seen this comment a couple times and I don't agree with it. Um, Odd geographical change. I've been watching the teaser for a week before noticing that Dragon Mount is on the wrong side of the Aranon. I'm not entirely sure that it is, because I think you're just looking at it from the other side. Like they show two separate angles of Tarvalin. And so if I were standing on the
Isn't it to the southeast?
yeah, it's to the
Or
southwest of Tarvalin.
southwest, sorry. Yeah.
It's to the southwest. And so if I was standing on the opposite side of the river, that's exactly where it would be. Like I don't think it's wrong. Um anyways, I know Bart of the Red Hand is saying he made a video about it. I have still not seen a convincing argument about that. I don't think it's on the wrong side. I actually think it's perfectly normal where it is. So anybody, I could totally be wrong if somebody
I'm
convinces
just
me
looking at
otherwise.
it right
I'm
now
not.
to see
I'm
if I
not.
can tell in the trailer.
Well, you know what? Let me pull it up on the screen. I've got the
Because
trailer.
there's two shots, because there's the one where you're definitely looking from the north to the south, because you can see the Ogier Grove. That one
Okay,
does not show Dragon Mount.
let me pull this up for everybody on the screen. Maybe if I can figure out how to work my damn computer.
Well, couldn't tell you how to do that on this platform.
You don't know how to help me?
Sorry.
I think this is it.
Call
Okay.
Taylor. Taylor,
Now,
help
where
me.
is Taylor when I need him? Okay. So let's make that bigger. Okay. So there's the shot of it. Okay. So if I were on the opposite side of the river, this is basically, we are on the southwest side of the city right now. That's what this is. That's all it is. So Dragon Mount is correctly placed, I think. Am I wrong?
Sorry, I had to mute Alexa.
So we're facing southwest. We're looking southwest. I think we're fine.
I think so.
I think we're fine. So, anyways, just wanted to put that to bed. Because I've seen that a couple times now. So, anyways, I think we got it right. Woo, that is a hot wig. Um, okay, so but I do think it's really cool, though. By the way, that we see the Ogier Grove in the other pic. I feel like now I need to pull it back up and show everybody and get it queued up first.
That was really cool. Like, I don't know why that surprises me. I don't know. It just seems like a cool detail that they probably didn't have to include, but they did. I
Well,
mean, I guess there is some stuff that happens in there in the books, but
and I know we're going to get the ways, so they make sense. But then that Ogier Grove is so out in the middle of nowhere, so it makes me wonder: is it in?
right, like where's that other waygate? What is that? Because that's not in an Ogier Grove.
So this right here is the Ogier Grove. Now, one thing that is different, I mentioned this in my video. The island is much smaller than the books, much smaller, significantly smaller actually. Because in the books, Tarvalin is the size of it's the size of Manhattan Island, basically. So if it's the size of Manhattan Island, then it's in the wrong place, first of all. But that isn't the size of Manhattan, because if that is, then the White Tower is like literally gargantuan, and it's not. So I love this. Tarvalin is Womanhattan. There we go.
Yes.
There we go. Anyways, just a thought. I like that. So, okay, what are some of the things that stood out to you about the trailer? Like, what was your favorite part of the trailer? I guess let's put it that way.
Oh God. This feels like it changes every time I watch it, but consistently, I love the shot of Egwene coming up out of the paint water.
Yes.
Couldn't tell you what that is, but it looks cool as hell. And then the other part that I loved was that Tam line about the wheel keeps turning, and then the 3 shots of circle things, which I thought was just, I don't know, really cool.
Real quick. Jay Diggity again. How does the Waygate scene imply Nynaeve isn't in Tarvalin with Matt Rand? Does the Waygate scene imply that Nynaeve isn't in Tarvalin and with Matt Randland during that shot? That is interesting. I thought I saw Nynaeve in there. Maybe I didn't.
She was one of the riders in the foreground, I think, with Matt Rand and Lan. I want to say. Now I gotta go look. Yeah, there's someone with a big old braid there, and it doesn't look like Egwene's braid.
I thought I saw Nynaeve in it. I could be wrong. I haven't. Might have to go back and watch it. Real quick, I want to address this. Nae'Blis, from this shot, how do you know that Tarvalin is smaller? Because, guys, Tarvalin in the books is 9 miles long. So if I go back to that shot, like, even with all the buildings there, like, Tarvalin would, like, if that really was the same size, then legitimately the White Tower would be like 3 miles across. Like, it's just not scaled properly. What I think they did is they did make the White Tower bigger, and I think they made the island smaller. Think of it this way. Think if you've ever been to New York and you went to New York and then you cut, like, there were no skyscrapers, and then you have the Empire State Building about half the size of it. That's how tall the White Tower is, about 600 feet tall in the books. Okay, so like you would be able to see it. If I were standing in South Harbor or North Harbor, I would clearly be able to see the White Tower, but it would not dominate the skyline. Okay, so it's gigantic in the books.
Also, can I just say that you would never be standing in North Harbor, because everyone knows men cannot find North Harbor.
Well, only women can get there. It's totally true. Some men can get there sometimes. 50% of the time.
Legend tells of the
legend
men
has
can find North Harbor.
Lindell, please consider my app to be featured on the Great Bite. What is your app? You'll have to let me know. We're in the middle of reworking a lot of the creator stuff anyway, so that hasn't been updated in a little bit. Although an update is about to roll out on that. So let me know. But thank you. And again, Shantane makes a great point, as she always does. Remember, the White Tower doesn't have elevators. People have to walk up and down the stairs and ramps to get anywhere. Yeah, so they're not going to build, like, I would hate being. I understand totally like why I would not want to have my offices in the top of the building. Like, who the hell wants to walk all the way up there?
I mean, in the books, so isn't that even why a lot of them don't use the top part of it, even though
Right, but
they
Elida did
technically
because
are? Yeah, because
Elida
she's,
wanted to be a badass.
Elida. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to walk up however many flights of stairs to my
Uh,
office every day. Screw
uh,
that.
I mean, it's like 40 floors, literally 40 floors to the top. That's nuts.
All of the sisters have very well turned calves.
Very well turned. Very well turned. They do not skip leg day. So
Every day is leg day.
you would think they could come up with an elevator of some sort or a lift. Um, but anyways, I loved. I actually really thought. I thought the White Tower looked amazing. I thought Tarvalin looked amazing, even though they made it smaller. I don't care.
It kind of gave me like Vatican City vibes a little bit.
Yeah,
And that's honestly always how I kind of pictured the White Tower sort of structure anyway, is just very analogous to that. So I think it looks awesome.
well, I got to address this because why they don't channel air. Being able to lift an elevator car is probably well past the capability of most. Like some of them struggle to pick up. Like Swan, when she's healed, I think struggles to. She can't even pick up Gareth Bryn. And yes, she's weaker, but there aren't that many sisters that are strong enough to lift an elevator. I would think so. Yeah, I don't think that is different. You'd think though they could figure out science, but this actually brings up my point. This is totally not trailer. We're going to talk about the books for a second. The Aes Sedai are idiots. Like they're the most educated people on the planet, and they do nothing with a scientific method at all. They invent nothing. They do nothing. They experiment with weaves, not at all. The Browns have knowledge. The Whites, like, I can't. Aes Sedai are stupid. I'm just saying it. It's stupid. Anyways, I'm done. Okay, off my tangent.
The Black Aja did a good job, I think, of crippling them
Making them dumb.
over however many years. I've
I
got a
love
cat now.
domes and cylindrical towers. I love it. Oh, your kitty.
Hello.
Hi, kitty.
Okay, now shut up.
I couldn't hear your cat, so
Well, that's good. He's been howling, so.
howling. Well, it's ferocious. Okay. So, what was your least favorite part of the trailer?
I don't love the shot of Steppen like yeeting himself at Logain.
Yeah.
I feel like that one, like I just want to see it in the context of the full scene because just maybe it was just the way that the two shots were cut because there was like a close up and then a wide shot of him like coming in horizontally and I'm just like, where did you come from? That I know you're a warder and like super cool, but that doesn't even make sense. So I'm hoping that makes a little more sense in context.
I don't like his weapons. I think they look dumb.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those either. They look a little plasticky, proppy to me.
Maybe again, I'm gonna give it till we get to the show to see some of the stuff, but I didn't like it. Now, let me tell you what I think is going on there. Here's my theory. Here's my theory of how this is all played out. So you have the scene, like you've got we know from the scripts and everything. We've got Aes Sedai holding Logain in the cave. You have the group of them standing outside. I think Logain's followers attack, pulls out some of the other sisters. So you have Leandrin and you have Kareen trying to hold the shield on Logain. Maybe or maybe not, Leandrin lets him out. We'll see. Maybe. We'll throw that out there. I don't know that that's
I could see it. I don't know, but it would kind of make sense.
But he breaks the shield while they're out there fighting his followers. Kareen dies as she smashes her head on the wood there. So Steppen feels it, starts running into the cave. Moraine has recently been healed. She was laying on a cot. Wakes up with the commotion. She's in a weakened state because you see Steppen, you see Kareen on the floor. You see Steppen flying in with axes, and you see Moraine trying to hold, like she's channeling, and Logain is again held. I think Moraine is trying to hold Logain and will fail at it because I don't think that Steppen is going to kill. I don't think he's going to kill Logain right there. Maybe Moraine even lets Logain go by catching Steppen to not let him kill him. I don't know. That could be part of it too. And maybe that's why Moraine is getting chastised later in the tower. Who knows?
Could be.
But that's what I think has gone on. I think that they're out there fighting. Steppen runs in after the fact because you see Kareen on the floor. Just a thought.
Yeah,
So
and just back to your comment on Leandrin possibly having a hand in this, there was one of the scenes from the Leandrin audition tapes that popped up last year sometime where she's talking to another Aes Sedai that I think was Kareen. And just like, why can't we just gentle him on the spot? The result's going to be the same. It doesn't matter if we have a trial. He's going to get gentled either
yeah.
way. And Kareen, goes on this spiel about how, no, we've always done what's right and, da 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 da. And so I'm wondering if Leandrin potentially tries to arrange this so that they'll just gentle him right there.
Thank you, Black Tower Podcast. This is for you.
Yes.
Beautiful, right?
Beautiful.
I could totally see it because we also know Kareen. It appears from the Hall of the Tower shot, Kareen is a sitter. So maybe Kareen is in charge of the whole expedition, which Leandrin does not like.
Well, in the books, wasn't she the head of the Green Aja? I mean, I know that was.
I don't know if she was the head. I think she was.
I think she was before Eye of the World, but I think she was. Okay,
I thought she was just a sitter in New Spring. I could be wrong. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of that scene either. I mean, it's again, there wasn't anything that I hated. Like I didn't look at anything and go, "Oh my god, this looks like Shannara Chronicles. It's so woke, go broke."
God, you chill.
It's just nonstop. It's the same shit over and over again. I guarantee you, someone will say it on.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter how much I make fun of it. Someone will say it.
Yeah, the other shot that I didn't love was I loved the concept of it, but the look of it was just a little bit off for me. Was the Alana stopping the arrows shot? Yeah, again, really cool concept. I don't know. I just didn't love how it was executed. We'll see.
What's interesting is Brian Recapacitidai loved that shot. So
I saw a lot of reaction videos where they're like, "Oh wow, that's so cool" for that part. So I
don't know what it was to me. I didn't.
Your mileage may vary on that one.
Yeah, anyways, I was very happy with the trailer. It sounds like we're talking about the negative things.
I mean, I gotta put something out there so that I can,
I loved it. I really did. Oh, yeah. I loved it.
I did.
And I was definitely more excited. This feels real. I am actually one that is excited. In my video that came out 2 days ago, I posted the Brandon clip where he was talking about how, again, we all heard him say this at JordanCon, but this would be another turning of the wheel. Mm-hmm. So I'm on board with that. I'm actually looking forward to the fact that I won't know what's happening at every moment in the entire thing. Where I will be upset, where they will lose Nae'Blis, is if the writing is bad, like if the changes become completely arbitrary for no reason. Like I said, I'm going to hold Rafe to we want to know why we made a change when we made it, right? And the other thing would be, and this is the biggest one, if the characters don't feel like the characters, like they're just totally changed.
Yeah, I think that kind of, to me, that ties into my opinion on changes is go nuts with the changes. I mean, presumably the main story beats are going to stay the same, but if those changes affect a core part of a character, then I'm gonna have a problem.
Yeah, agreed. Like I said, if they make Nynaeve this fully formed character at the beginning, I will be so upset. Like, that will crush me. Sorry, this is so hot. So somebody's got to throw some more money at me if they want me to put that back on. I'll, sweat through my wig. It's the lights and then the wig, all that. Anyways, but yeah, I that will be where they will lose me. Outside of that, I'm pretty much on board with it, and I'm not really worried about any of the things I just said, because if you know anything about Brandon Sanderson, he is not one to just say what people want to hear. Like Brandon he is a remarkably straightforward individual.
I feel like if he didn't have anything nice to say, he
wouldn't have
said anything. He just said, "Sorry, I'm under NDA." So.
Yep, and I think I agree. And he is, because I've heard him say this, not even unrecorded, like, he definitely thinks there's 10 out of 10 episodes. He thought like one of them was, and I think it's episode
I think it's
five,
6.
5 or 6, one of the
He
two.
really liked, I think 6 was his favorite script, and I want to say he also really liked 7. So I'm guessing 6 is the 10 out of 10. But
And he said there were a lot of other ones that were good. There were no bad episodes from a writing standpoint, which again takes away one of my fears because I just
absolutely.
don't want really clunky dialogue. The one thing I'm not concerned about in the slightest bit, not even a little bit, is the acting. Like I think if the dialogue is good, like they brought in, I can't think of a fantasy series with higher profile like acting ability than this.
And the directors they have are
Are
good. I
amazing.
mean, how the directors, what they tell the actor to do is a big part of it, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm fully on board with all the directors they have. So
Yep, I am. I'm not even the slightest bit worried about that. Not even a little bit. So that's a positive to me. So it just really comes down to if they nail the characters, and that's one area where, to a degree, I trust Brandon. But on the flip side, I think that's probably the biggest criticism you could give Brandon in the way he finished the books is that sometimes he didn't get the characters right. Now he acknowledges that for the most part. And I would say Matt is really the one that he didn't get right. I feel like, and Matt got better.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
But he
Matt's
did not
definitely
get Matt right.
the poster child for not great transition between Robert Jordan and Sanderson.
But I would also argue Matt is a notoriously difficult character to write. I've said this before. I'm not a super big Matt fanboy. Like I like Matt, but I'm not probably on the Matt bandwagon like most of the community is. I'm much
Same.
more of a Nynaeve guy. But Matt is a difficult character to write because you have to strike the right tone about ignorance and intelligence because he's simultaneously both. He is simultaneously funny and very serious. He is like, so I would imagine he's pretty difficult to nail tonally. And that's
Right,
what I
because
think.
his humor doesn't come from him just being comic relief, buddy cop movie type
Yep.
stuff, which I felt like he was a lot in, especially in book
Yep.
12.
The whole
So.
Boots thing with Thelma, like I hated that monologue. I hate the Boots
And
monologue.
the letter to Elaine.
Yep.
I just can't.
It's a little over the top.
It's just
Like
too much.
Like that letter is actually perfectly indicative because like I think that some of that might have been in a letter that Matt would write, but not all of it. Like it was like too far.
It was too much, yeah.
Yeah.
And Matt's again, yeah, like Matt's humor to me always came from the difference between his internal monologue and what he did, kind of similar to Nynaeve, honestly. So that is difficult to portray on screen. So I'm real curious to see how they do that.
Yep. Now I will point out because I want to make sure I was not necessarily saying that the casting was better than Lord of the Rings. They, I think, nailed. I don't think you could have nailed the Lord of the Rings casting better than they did. That's probably the best ever. Ian McKellen, Christopher Lee, Kate Blanchett, and I think you're leaving out Viggo because I think Viggo Mortensen nails that. Shit, I mean, shit. Even what's his face nails Elrond. There's really not a bad casting in that.
Hugo
series.
Weaving.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, Hugo Weaving. There's not a bad casting in that series. But I as a TV show goes, like they brought in 2 Oscar-nominated actresses. I don't know. I it's hard to not. Now wait till we find like Kate Blanchett. It's going to be, or Meryl Streep will be brought in as one of the Forsaken or something. Gosh, I will go nuts if they bring in somebody super high profile. Like I'm hoping
Meryl Streep is Cadswain.
God,
I wouldn't hate it.
How good would that
cool.
be? Honestly, you just nailed it. Meryl Streep is Cadswain. That's perfect. Like who's better than Meryl Streep as Cadswain?
I really like Michelle Yeoh. I don't know how to say her last name, but I think she would make a really awesome Cadswain.
Michelle Yeoh?
Yeah.
I love her too. She was great in Shang-Chi.
I haven't seen that, so I should.
She's great in Star Trek too. But you know, the only problem with Meryl Streep as Cadswain is I don't know if anybody knows this. She has been cast as Bella. Well, she's been cast as half of Bella. She's the front half of Bella.
Wow, big
Yeah,
leaks here tonight. Let me
yeah.
go
Well, the
check
back
the
half of
article.
Bella is being played by Daniel Day-Lewis. So
Oh,
you don't remember this from my Bella casting video very early on?
that was so long ago. No.
You all you all should go back and watch that. It's like a terrible, terrible video from 3 years ago or 2 years ago. But that's where I broke the news. I broke it that Bella would be played by a combination of Meryl Streep and Daniel Day-Lewis. So make sure to go back and watch that at some point.
Very
um,
important news.
who would you cast Daniel Day-Lewis as if he was in the show?
Oh,
Because
geez.
obviously he can do whatever he wants. He's amazing. But like,
I mean, how old is he even now?
he's probably 50, 55, I
Oh,
guess.
he's 64.
60. Oh, okay. 64.
Okay. I don't know. I could see him as either a really good Forsaken or
Mm-hmm.
maybe like one of the great captains. I don't know. Eteralda or something.
I could see that. I would actually. I mean, he would be really good at whatever he did. I would probably like to see him as Demandred, but
Yeah, I think he'd make
Christopher
it really
Reback,
good.
Henry Cavill is Ravine. He's a huge Wheel of Time fan. You know what? I love that. Except my Ravine will be Idris Elba forever.
Yep. Yep.
Idris Elba is Ravine. Henry Cavill can play somebody though. I
Just
can
not
see Henry,
just not Ravine.
just not Ravine. Actually, I could see Henry Cavill as Samael. You just put a scar and change his hair color. So, but thank you, Christopher. We got a new member of the show of the channel. Thank you, NG, for becoming a channel member. You get to use your. I think you can post some Dusty Wheel stuff now. Dusty Wheel, yeah. I think there's a little Manfear picture that you can post. I don't remember how to do it though. They better not cut Demandre. I don't think they're going to cut him. Thank you, the Hunter Seeker algorithm. I don't think they're going to cut him. I just don't think we're going to see him for a while. So, okay. What is the thing that you are the most excited for? Like, maybe not that we already know, but like, what would you like? What's the thing that you're most looking forward to seeing adapted?
Like in the entire series or
Yep.
in the first
Yep.
season?
Well,
Geez.
let's go with the first two
I
seasons.
was like, I don't know. There's too many. Oh man, that's really hard, especially not being sure exactly what the seasons are going to cover. I guess if I'll just say books 1 to 3. Um, I'm just kind of very curious to see in general how they adapt early Rand because I think he sped up a little bit too much in book 3 because Robert Jordan wasn't planning to have a 14 book series. And
Right.
so he kind of like takes it like way up to here and then goes back down. So I'm just honestly really curious to see how they handle that because I don't think they can really go straight from the book on that one. But
Agreed.
yeah, I'm honestly just I really want to see how they just weave all the different plot lines together. There's really no one particular thing that I want to see,
Do you think
honestly.
we're going to see the Eye of the World?
I don't know. I want to say yes, but I'm gonna guess it's gonna be significantly different than the book. They may go there for a different reason, or I don't know, but the book ending was quite confusing
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't really jive with the rest of the series either and what we know about the magic system. So, um, I don't know. And again, we know almost nothing about episodes 7 and 8, so we know they go to Faldara, so I don't see why they'd go to Faldara if they weren't going to go up into the Blight, but
Good
beyond
point.
that.
Real quick, because I missed this, Sam Elliott, NG says Sam Elliott as Bilal. That's the first. I'll say this: that is the very first time I have ever seen somebody cast Sam Elliott as anybody other than Tom.
I was just gonna say,
Because that has been the meme casting forever. Is people go Sam Elliott? Well, he has white mustaches.
hey
He
guys,
has
has
to be
anyone ever
Tom.
thought of this groundbreaking idea of casting Sam Elliott as Tom?
That was actually what I used to do to troll fan casting because everybody used to say it, and you know me, I'm a troll, so
yeah.
I would say it. But Sam Elliott as Bilal, that's interesting because I always picture somebody way more Hispanic Like, I could almost picture like Antonio Banderas as Bilal.
I don't even picture anybody as Bilal. I mean, the poor guy showed up and then got
Poor guy.
bail fired. He didn't do
Yeah, poor
anything.
guy. Poor guy.
Poor Bilal.
Poor Bilal. Isn't Sam Elliott dead? No, Sam Elliott is very much alive. Sam Elliott as Bashir. Oops, what did I accidentally hit the wrong thing? Does anyone notice the White Tower looks like? I totally accidentally clicked that, by the way.
Sure.
But I totally agree with you, by the way. Totally agree. Matthew Stone, thank you. Tom Cruise has every Trolloc to die horribly. You know, you could do that with Tom Cruise because most people didn't realize in the time when Tropic Thunder came out that Tom Cruise was in it. And Tropic Thunder is a 100% totally underrated movie, by the way. Anybody who's never seen Tropic Thunder, go watch it. Tom Cruise is actually amazing in that. So, okay. So you don't think the Eye of the World will be the same, right? What do you think they're going to do with Padan Fain? Because I know there's been like, we really don't know. There's speculation he might only be in like 1 or 2 episodes, but he also might be in more. We're not sure. So like, what do you think?
I don't know. Yeah, that's another one I kind of keep going back and forth on. Like Johann Myers was so hard to track because he doesn't have a social media presence, and so that's very frustrating. Kind of like Sophie Okonedo. But there was that article that did say he was booked for 1 episode with the possibility of returning or something along those lines. I mean, I'm assuming he's going to be back in the show at some point. That would be a twist if he wasn't.
Oh yeah, I would be really disappointed there.
And Eye of the World, it's been so long since I reread it. He really doesn't show up that much. I mean, don't they run into him in one of the villages?
Mm-hmm.
And he's all.
So he shows up in Baerlon, and they chase him in Baerlon.
That's right.
Then he follows them into Shadar Logoth, although they don't meet him. They see him in Camelin, I believe.
Okay.
And then he follows them through the ways, and then they catch him in Faldara.
Okay. I mean, I'm just thinking that's really a lot of stuff that they could maybe just show like somebody following them, but not who it is, and so they don't have to have the real actor just skulking in the trees for 30 seconds for 1 episode. I really hope that he's back in season 2. I'd be really surprised if he wasn't.
Well, again,
I don't know.
People like, if you're unsure of him, wait till you watch some of his stuff and see him smile. He becomes super creepy. I mean, it feels weird because I'm like saying that Johann Myers is super creepy.
The actor's creepy.
But he nails it. Like the eye, like he has crazy eyes.
Well, it didn't Rafe even say that? Like, you know, there's a scene where he's riding his wagon into town and his smile just gave me chills or something. So sounds like they're really going for that.
I'm hoping they get it. Well, hey, last plug, because I like to keep these to just an hour. Although today we're going to start a tradition that's not really a tradition. After the show, we're gonna, for anybody that wants to join us, we'll hop into the Discord server. In my Discord, there's a voice chat. We'll get in and chat a little bit. So make sure to join us there afterwards. But also before we go, make sure to follow watseries.com. Like you can follow Sarah on Twitter, right? What is your Twitter handle?
It is Celtic Mist 08. And the Watt series Twitter is hold on. Watt TV series. It's not Watt series.
Yeah, and well, you can always go to the website too. If you've never been to watseries.com, they do amazing stuff there. So anybody, by the way, if you're not a member of my Discord server, the link is in the description of this video, and all you have to do is click it, download Discord. We talk in there a lot. It'll be fun. So as soon as this live stream is over, I will pop over into the Discord for a little bit and we'll talk. I actually have a interesting question to ask a lot of you guys privately. And so Sarah knows what I'm talking about. I want to gauge some interest on something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, very secret. So secret.
The secret, you just talked about it on a live stream.
Yes. Well, guys, thanks for joining. I do appreciate it. We are back here every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We talk Wheel of Time. I have a new guest every week. I'm sure Sarah, well, maybe if I didn't scare her off, you'll come back.
I'll consider it. You know,
Well,
I gotta up my profile as an Amazon shill by appearing in more places because I hear that's how I get more yachts.
you know,
So
well, the problem with bringing Sarah on, guys, I would have her on more, but she charges me like $20,000 an appearance. Uh, so, it's like that's like
very high profile.
well, that's like a tenth of what Amazon pays me per day, and I don't want to give that up.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah.
like. Anyways, joking. All right, guys, thank you for joining. I'll be in Discord after this if you all want to pop into the Nae'Blis Discord, and we will see you then. Thank you again. See you all.
Bye bye.